I just did, well, maybe not just did, a video commentary talking about how Nate Parker is pretty much returning. You know, he has a new film that's he's working, well, it's pretty much done. It's called American Skin, and it got, some praise. Spike Lee gave it some praise and some other people. I can't wait to actually watch it. Hopefully it gets good, proper distribution so it can come out in the theaters and I can go and support it. But that's not what I came on here to talk about today, is involved in Nate Parker. So I was just glancing through on YouTube, and I basically came across some commentary where Nate Parker literally is now apologizing for his quote unquote tone deaf response to him being found not guilty of rape back in 1999. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, am I hearing this correctly? Is he actually apologizing for a tone deaf response from 3 years ago for something that happened in 1999 that he was acquitted for because it didn't actually happen? Basically, what's going on is that Nate Parker, or I guess he feels that he should apologize because the response he gave when those rape charges came back up, or that rape case came back up in 2016, right on the heels of his movie Birth of a Nation about to come out. They feel that because he did not give a proper response to those not so much allegations, but the case as a whole, even though he was found not guilty, they feel that he should apologize because he didn't respond the way that they wanted him to. I'm sitting here, are you fucking serious? See, this is the thing I keep talking about when I say that literally black men in this establishment will always forever be found guilty even when we are innocent. This man was found not guilty by a majority white jury, a white judge, and a majority white town when he was in school of rape of a white woman. And because of her committing suicide, I think they said in 2012, and all of that stuff coming back up right before his movie came out, Birth of a Nation, that was all by design. That was all orchestrated. Then they wanted to attack this man. They did not care that he was found not guilty and that he was acquitted of what he was accused of. For all we know, this white woman made all of this up. And I think what pisses me off about the whole thing is that you had some of our own, especially some of our women, yes, I'm going there, actually on the side of a deceased white woman. But some of y'all claim y'all don't like white women like that. But to be honest, many of you do like them. Some of y'all showed the slip beneath your skirt. And y'all already know what I talk about when I say that slip that shows is very unladylike. You had people like Cancer Phillips leading the charge, getting up on Roland Martin's former show on TV One, going back and forth with that actress Anjanae Ellis, who was an actual actress on the set, talking about something that happened in the film that did not happen in the film. You had people like Gabrielle Union coming against him, and she was in the film. Be it that her part was small, but she was still a credited cast member, and she said some slick stuff. Then you had hordes of women and people of a certain community coming out against this guy too, sabotaging his film. And y'all want to talk about being on code? Really? This man has nothing to apologize for. Nothing. He was found not guilty. There was no evidence to allude that he did what was claimed of this woman. She's no longer here, so her word can't mean much anyway. They tried to get the friend too, but they couldn't really get much on him. But I think they threw him in jail because they felt like, oh, we need to have somebody locked up. But he was eventually released months later. It's like black men, if they're extremely successful, they cannot win in this establishment. They'll find a way to destroy them. And you know what? When this movie first got announced that he was doing this, I was all for it. When I saw that first trailer in April of that year, because it came out in October, I was like, oh my God, it's finally happening. Like, we are finally getting this movie. The second trailer drops and it's like, oh, now I'm really feeling it. He gets a lot of praise at all film festivals. They said that he's possibly going to get an Oscar. And it was at that point that the establishment knew that they had to work their wicked nature, their witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, and sabotage it. And they didn't care which way to do it, but they knew who to go to. Unfortunately, it's the female version of myself and some of her cohorts and some of their cohorts. And by there, I'm talking about the white feminists and some of those other like reporters. And they literally came in like it was goddamn 300 on this film. And they felt like they did something phenomenal. I saw so many tweets that were saying how they are so glad that they were able to sabotage this film. And they would say, oh, we took down Nate Parker. We took down this rapist and everything like that. And then it did. Here's the kicker. When they found out who he was married to, then they went even harder. It was at that moment 3 years ago when I started to realize that some people in our community are not shit. I remember when I did the review for the movie on my original channel. Then when the box office came out and they said it was a flop, I had immediately did a video and I went off in that video. But the thing is, I think I knew it was going to happen, but I had to mentally prepare myself for what I was going to say in that commentary. I didn't really read anything. Just the title alone was enough for me. They sabotaged this movie so bad. He got shut out at pretty much every award ceremony that he should have won in. He should have won a Golden Globe. He should have won a SAG award, and he should have won an Oscar. I don't care if it was one per category, but he had those nominations in his grasp. But guess who wins in front of him? Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's brother, a man who has been accused on multiple occasions of sexual deviancy against women that he's worked with. But you didn't have the feminists, whether white or black or otherwise, come out against him, because as far as they were concerned, the only people that the black feminists were allowed to attack was Nate Parker. And that's what makes me laugh in a very maniacal way at these black fema bitches. You are literally the lap dog to those white feminists and their handlers. You jump when they say jump. You bark when they say bark. You sit, lay, roll around, play dead when they say roll around, sit down, play dead. But only when it's against us. They will never, ever, ever let you have free reign to go after their men. And some of them, actually all of them, sound very proud to do that because deep down they hate black men. Almost as much as the rest of the world does, maybe even more. Plantation Politics 101. Oh, and I think I figured it out. Actually, I haven't just figured it out. I've been known about it. And shout out to Grinch for this, but putting it in his book. In case y'all did not know, black women, and this may catch many of you off by surprise, black women at one point owned slaves. Shocker. Are you shocked? I said, when I found that out, I was like floored. I was frozen when I heard that. You can look it up in the Library of Congress. It's right there. It's documented. And I said, that explains so much today with how the plantation politics is flourishing right now. Harvey just recently did a video where he was talking about how you have a lot of black women who will jump into these relationships these interracial relationships like it's nothing. And us black men will not really say anything about it because many of the times we don't care. But if a black man was to do it, it's like feeding time at the zoo, plantation politics. It's almost like that do as I say, not as I do type of thing. You had people like Lonnie Love on Twitter talking about black men, something about her, because she's with a white guy. Listen, and trying to make it seem like we were supposed to be upset about it. Lonnie, many of us don't care. Many of us didn't even know you was in a relationship, let alone in a relationship with a white guy until you made it be known. And even after that, we still didn't care. But Nate Parker, you should not have to apologize for you being found not guilty or because you didn't speak in the tone that they wanted you to speak in. Like that is so silly to me. It really is. Like, that is just ridiculous. Why why are we made to apologize for something that's not worth apologizing for? So what, he didn't speak in the tone that you wanted him to speak in? It was nothing to talk about. He was supposed to be there to promote his movie, not defend himself against something that happened, or did not happen, I should say, over a decade ago. Way before we even knew who he was. That one thing right there almost ruined him. That film right there was supposed to be his breakout role right there. Not saying he hadn't had breakout roles before, but this was his masterpiece right here. You know how you have every like director and filmmaker has that one movie that literally sets them apart from the rest? This was it, and it got destroyed. Now, you have that new Harriet Tubman movie coming out at the end of the year in November. Now, you heard the stuff that the main actress Cynthia Erivo has said about ADOS. I'm curious to see what the box office numbers are going to look like for that when it comes out. I'm curious. And I bet you're going to have some of those black men hating bitches that had so much shit to say about Nate Parker are going to run out in droves and support it because they got to do it for the sisterhood of failure. Sometimes you just got to ask yourself, when is enough enough?